For a memorable shopping experience, you have to come to Bicester Village.
These look perfect. They are such a good length.
They have over 150 designer fashion and lifestyle boutiques, and I've never been anywhere quite like it.
This is going to be very tempting.
From personal shopping consultants to hands-free shopping, yes, they carry your bags for you, so chic. It's a 5-star service.
There are so many savings at Bicester Village. The reduction from the original price is just incredible.
And only an hour on the train from London. The next time I visit, I'm definitely trying out their personal shopping packages.
I feel so glamorous just slipping into these. I think I'll take them.
To enter a prize draw to win £500 worth of shopping at Bicester Village, follow the link in the description. T's and C's apply.
Thank you so much.
Your first failure is your failure to find your soulmate until you were in your 40s.
Yeah. Yes. And first, I need to just say before we talk about that, is that I'm not saying all the relationships before the person I've met, who is my soulmate, were a complete disaster. Some of them were absolute car crashes, and I think we can all relate to that. And they don't need speaking about. But there are some that I learned things from, but as the relationship unfolded, we weren't compatible. It just realized that it wasn't going to work. And, you know, either painfully or graciously, they came to a conclusion and we finished. Some of those people are still in my life, and some of them are very, very close to me. One of them is my best friend from 20 years ago. We were partners for 3 years. We own a house together. I mean, it's really odd, but anyway, we're friends. But it's a little sad, I feel like, at getting to 40, I sometimes think, oh, wouldn't it have been great to have gone through the whole journey with someone? But this is me being idealistic, and, you know, of course, that's not how it is. And maybe what I've learned from these relationships and being alone and all those things, and I've learned so much that I can bring so much more to a relationship now. I'm a very different person from 10 years ago, really different, which is weird. I can see that now. And I value this relationship so much, and I value this person so much. Fran, we'll give him his name. We've been together almost 4 years, and it literally has gone like that. It felt like we met yesterday. It's just seamlessly, just gradually growing and morphing into something bigger and stronger and happy. It's always happy, it's positive, it's easy, which I don't say that flippantly. Easy is it's a hard thing to find in a relationship. I don't think I've ever had an easy relationship, but I have it now. And as much as it's sad that we didn't meet earlier on, I'm so grateful that in my 40s, I have met this person that just completely, he just top and tails my life. I feel like it's my traveling partner, my business partner. We giggle together. We go to the gym together. We're also fine apart. We've just spent a month apart. You know, we're good. We're really good. There's a strength. There's a confidence I have because of him, which is just lovely.
Another thing we have in common, not Fran, you'll be delighted to hear, although he is lovely. But I met my husband age 39, and like you, there's an ease where I'm not pretending to be anything. And I think that in my past relationships, some of them at least, I mistook passion for insecurity. So that sense of never quite getting someone else's emotional availability, I thought was incredibly exciting and enigmatic. And actually it just made me feel tense all of the time.
All the time.
Yes.
I've had that too.
Yes. Well, I wanted to ask you about your journey with your sexuality because of the way that you grew up and the internal shame that you felt at the idea that you would have to tell your parents and they would be told by church elders never to speak to you again. That is a crushing weight for a young boy to live with.
Yeah.
Do you think that informed, I mean, it sort of delayed your progression into relationships?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it delayed me coming out. I couldn't. I just had to keep it secret. I had no one to tell. I had no non-Jehovah's Witness friends. So I kept it to myself my whole childhood. It was only when I left home, and I didn't leave home because I wanted to. I left home because I needed to, because I couldn't lie to them anymore, and I had to be who I knew I was, and I couldn't do that under my mum and dad's roof, out of respect for them and their religion, but also out of respect for myself. I knew that I had to find a new life, and I knew it was just on a 45-minute train journey to another city, I'd find new people. But at 16, that is a very young age to have to make that decision to go alone, to do it alone. I had no brothers and sisters, no one knew. And I thought that was the best way. I'll just start again. And that's what I did. I'd had that plan from the age of 12 because I knew that legally I could leave home at 16. And so I just went, well, you've just got to suck it up for the next 4 years and get through it and then leave. And I did exactly what I planned. When I talk to my friends and they say, when did you leave home? And I say 16. They're like, 16? It's like chilled, like a child, you know. And I guess I was, but I just knew that I couldn't carry on there being with these feelings and knowing that it wasn't going to change. You know, this person, I'm not going to change. And I knew very little other than that.
What comes across so strongly is how much you love your parents.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're amazing people. And I'm so glad that I feel like this. I know a lot of people who have been in my position or similar are very angry, and it's totally understandable. And I see that, you know, to be put through this is wrong. You know, a religion shouldn't force you to have to make a decision between being your true self and losing your family and everyone around you. But I'm okay with it because I love my mum and dad. My upbringing was joyous. They are great human beings, very patient. I was a bastard as a kid. I was a nightmare, like a teenager. Imagine, I was in the closet. No, I wasn't in the closet. I was screaming every night because I couldn't tell anyone. I was going through the hormonal changes of pubescent teenager. I didn't want to be in the religion. I hated knocking doors. Everything about my life was wrong. And I was just miserable. I was so miserable with my mum and dad. And they were so patient. They were so young. They dealt with it all. And I then left home, you know, their only child leaves home at 16. And they didn't turn their back on me. Of course, they didn't know at that point, but I was moving away from the religion. And even that meant that I was possibly going to die at Armageddon. I hadn't put the cherry on the icing of the cake at that point, but, you know, it was a big thing for them to lose me, you know. I didn't go to the Kingdom Hall. I didn't knock doors. I wanted nothing to do with it. I wanted to start my new life. And they've just been so kind and accepting. Even though they have their religion, we have managed to find a balance where we both can respect each other and our choices and our lives and our journeys. They're different, but they can work parallel with each other. And we're solid.
It is an amazing achievement, that really, for all three of you. There's an incident in the book where your parents discover a stash of gay literature and porn that you'd hidden in the lining of an armchair in your
just
bedroom.
Like this. Yeah. Just like there's a chair.
Well, and what you don't know, Luke, is that before you arrived today, we stuffed it full. But tell us that story if you...
Yeah, so I had... my mum would go to Cardiff often on the weekend, and so I'd go on the train with her, and she loves shopping. I hate shopping. Always have. And so I'd drop her off at Howells's, which is the department store, or Debenhams or Primark or whatever. And I'd just go wandering, and I'd look around the bookshops, and I found this one little bookshop in this little arcade in Cardiff, and it was called Chapter and Verse. And I'd never just found it. I'd never seen it before. So I walked in and I said hello to the shopkeeper. And then I started looking around the books. And in one corner was the LGBT section. And I didn't really realize straight away, but as I pulled a book down, I realized it was Maurice, the famous gay novel, and then a book about safe sex, and then a book about, so many different books. I mean, and it was like, I kept looking over my shoulder thinking he was going to come and tell me off. But of course, it's gay literature. I think he was a gay guy himself. That was the moment I've had an outlet where I could learn just about that I wasn't on my own. There was even a romantic novel about gay men. So I started to build up every week. I'd come to Cardiff with my mum. She'd go to Debenhams, and I'd go and spend my pocket money that I'd saved or from my little jobs I used to have in the valleys. And I'd buy books, and I just built up a collection of different things, different books. Some of them were photographic, Tom Bianchi and Tom of Finland. And, there was lots of different books. And I used to hide it in a quick save carrier bag in the lining of a chair that was my old sofa that my mum and dad had. They bought a new one, and I took the armchair. And I was the only one that knew it was there. And one day I went to look for it, and it had gone. And my whole life flashed before my eyes in that very moment.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Be sure to check out the full episode of How to Fail wherever you get your podcasts. And also make sure you're following us on social media for all the latest updates.